Hi everyone, Simone here. I wanted to follow up with you on a video that I posted earlier this week entitled Leaked Documents Reveal That China is Taking Over Antigua Literally. So if you missed that particular video, you can go to the video portion of Push Past 10 Media and it is right there. So just look up Leaked Documents Reveal That China is Taking Over Antigua Literally, because this is the background for the information I am about to provide to you. And I want you to take your time. I know many of us do not have the time to read documents because we all know how super busy our schedules are. So what I've decided is that for this important information as important as this, I'm going to try to make an effort to read you the article. So while you're busy going through your day, maybe you're cooking, you're doing some office work, whatever you're doing, you still have the option of listening. Maybe you're driving in your car, you're attending to the kids, you have the option to listen to the information and to pay attention to what is going on in our Caribbean region and the implications for Dominica, because the detractors are very quick to jump on information like this to claim that it is fake news and even to attack our qualifications, right? So we're not going to be distracted. We're not going to move on to other topics. We have to keep on top of the topics that are relevant to Dominica and the Caribbean region. So we want to say a very special thank you to AntiguaNewsroom.com, who posted this article: U.S. lawmakers urge action over China in the Caribbean, alarm bells. So again, a wonderful thank you to AntiguaNewsroom.com for the article that I am about to read to you. So it begins by saying, source, Newsweek: the United States must do more to block fast-growing Chinese influence in the Caribbean and Latin America. Two prominent members of Congress told Newsweek after its report on China's extensive involvement on the island of Antigua. The alarm bells are ringing over China's increased presence in our hemisphere. Representative Mike Waltz, a Republican from Florida, a member of the Armed Services, Foreign Affairs, and the Select Committee on Intelligence, told Newsweek by email. China's push into the strategically important region through diplomacy, loans, grants, and investments posed economic and security challenges for the U.S., and it should be met in kind. Representative Raja Krishnamurthy, a Democrat from Illinois, told Newsweek in a telephone interview. Krishnamurthy is the ranking member of the Select Committee on the Strategic Competition between the United States and the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, as well as a member of the U.S. Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and the Committee on Oversight and Accountability. The members of Congress were responding to reporting by Newsweek that documented the signing of a private deal in January for a new Chinese special economic zone with exceptional privileges, a new airline to serve the zone, and a clutch of new agreements, including one for Antiguan officials to study Chinese leader Xi Jinping's thoughts on governance, and another for China to help rebuild Antigua's water piping system. The article also quoted concerns from the U.S. military's Southern Command, SOUTHCOM, over China's expanding presence in the region. Okay. The Antiguan government of Prime Minister Gaston Brown has said that there is no cause for concern at the deepening relationship between Antigua and China. A spokesperson for the Chinese embassy in Antigua, Pan Jiki, said China's cooperation with Antigua was in the interest of the Antiguan people. On his regular radio show last Saturday, Brown said that ties between Antigua and Barbuda and the United States were close. He highlighted the importance of U.S. investments in the country's reliance on tourism from the U.S. But he also noted that China was, quote, the most important developmental partner, end of quote. Both Walls and Krishnamurti said America's 19th century Monroe Doctrine should be renewed as part of a more vigorous U.S. engagement in the region. That policy held that at any intervention in the political affairs of a state in the Americas by foreign powers was potentially hostile act and that the U.S. would protect its sphere of interest. Quote, I am not saying that other countries should not participate in our hemisphere with countries here in Latin America. These are sovereign nations that get to decide their own relationships. End of quote. Krishnamurti said, quote, however, in doing so, they should be well aware of the risks and entanglements associated with the CCP, which he called, quote, the ultimate predator-creditor, end of quote. China is Antigua's biggest lender nation, Brown told Newsweek without giving figures. An expanded U.S. presence should include meeting a request for more funding from SOUTHCOM, the Southern Command that is based in Florida, Krishnamurti said. Quote, I think one thing they requested was more funding to be made to participate in and basically get to know their neighbors, being available to help them as needed, identifying areas of cooperation, identifying potential security risk, and helping these countries with security risk. Many countries in the Caribbean and Latin America had joined China's Belt and Road Initiative, a $1 trillion global infrastructure program, he noted. But he said there were always strings attached to such lending, with China characterizing it as a win-win cooperation. Quote, you know, they are sometimes worse than the check cashing store on the corner that you should avoid if you're trying to get resources to do something. It's better to work with trusted partners, end of quote. Krishnamurti said, quote, I think that it's very important that we increasingly do outreach in this part of the world to make sure that countries like Antigua and others understand what it means to receive support from the CCP, end of quote. Noting that China operated in similar way elsewhere, such as the South Pacific. Krishnamurti said the U.S. should also give more in developmental assistance, something that Antiguan leader Brown and other ministers told Newsweek was vital for the small nation that was vulnerable to climate change and where livelihoods could be wiped out overnight by a hurricane. Waltz echoed Krishnamurti's concerns and said political influence followed economic influence. Quote, we also have a Chinese spy base in Cuba that is 100 miles away from Florida. Chinese ownership of the port of the Caribbean side of the Panama Canal and debt diplomacy in the Bahamas in the wake of Hurricane Dorian, which we still don't even have an ambassador. This is a clear and present threat to our country, given the sophistication of the CCP's espionage operations, Waltz said. Quote, we need a new Monroe Doctrine that specifically looks to block the economic and military influence of China, end of quote, Waltz said. South America offers a wide array of critical materials. Let's take that again. South America offers a wide array of critical minerals that are needed to power our modern economy. It's against our strategic interest for China to try and monopolize these exports and install military bases that can be used against us should a conflict arise over Taiwan's sovereignty. End of quote. He said, referring to China's claim on self-ruling Taiwan. Both China and Cuba have denied U.S. accusations that it has espionage facilities in Cuba. Krishnamurthy said he was unaware of any requests for basing by China in the region, but that the U.S. needed to be aware that Beijing could be considering it. It's one thing for the CCP to have embassies and consulates and to foster business and people-to-people exchanges and to cooperate on different projects and so forth. It's another to continue some kind of aggressive posture, Krishnamurthy said. In his radio show, Antigua Prime Minister Brown accused the opposition United Progressive Party, UPP, of disloyalty to the state and of being the most serious threat, sounds familiar? I continue, to the country after two of its members spoke to Newsweek in its report. He accused them of seeking to jeopardize Antigua's relationship with the U.S. So, end of the article. So again, we want to say a very special thank you to AntiguaNewsroom.com, and I will go ahead and post the link to that particular article. So whether you choose to share the link or you choose to share this video, we have to stay on top of the developments in the Caribbean region. We have to stay focused because there are too many acolytes out there who simply want you to turn and look over here instead of looking at the reality of what is going on in the Caribbean region. So I want to thank you for joining me here for this broadcast. I will try my best. You know, everybody's super busy, but I will try my best to bring you other articles of relevance so that we can all stay apprised of what is going on in the Caribbean. So again, I am Simone Matthew from Push Past 10, and we encourage you to follow Push Past 10 and click the notification button so you will always know when we are going live, when we are bringing a topic of interest to you. So again, share this information as much as you can. If you would prefer to share the article, I will be sure to post the link in the comment section. And if you would prefer to share the audio, now we have options for sharing information in a variety of ways. Hey, I might even adopt AI and start using my AI voice instead. But anyway, guys, stay educated, stay informed, and continue to follow Push Past 10 for more information. Take care.